Over 10,000 women are believed to have died chasing beauty. And with Victorian beauty, getting ready could mean putting literal poison on your face. Arsenic for clear skin, lead to smooth things out, mercury for that glow. It worked until, of course, it didn't, and your body started, well, giving up. And no one thought this was insane. This was just beauty. Here are the 15 disturbing Victorian beauty treatments that were somehow normal. Number 1. Arsenic wafers. Eat poison, glow better. So it's the 1800s. Someone looks at arsenic, a well-known poison, and thinks, oh, what if we make it into a snack? And just like that, arsenic wafers hit the beauty market. Yes, women across Europe consumed tiny doses to achieve pale, translucent skin. The logic? Arsenic improved complexion and gave the eyes a mysterious sparkle. The reality? It also caused vomiting, organ failure, and death. And some users developed a dependency, increasing the dose over time. Congratulations, your skincare routine is now a slow-motion assassination attempt sponsored by, yeah, you guessed it, yourself. And somehow, blinding yourself was also considered elegant. Number 2. Belladonna eye drops. Beauty through blindness. So nothing says attractive like dilated pupils and partial blindness. Enter belladonna, meaning beautiful woman in Italian. So women used drops made from this toxic plant to enlarge their pupils, creating that dreamy, wide-eyed look. The active compound, atropine, literally paralyzes the eye muscles. Side effects included blurred vision, light sensitivity, hallucinations, and yes, permanent eye damage. So while you're out here trying to look cute, your eyes are quietly shutting down operations. Beauty, but make it medically concerning. And somehow partial blindness was only the warm-up. Now it's time for poison by powder. Number 3. Lead-based face powder. Poisoned porcelain skin. So Victorian beauty worshipped pale skin, and nothing delivered that ghostly glow like lead-based makeup. Products like Venetian ceruse coated the face in a flawless white finish. Underneath, skin slowly deteriorating. Lead seeped into the body, causing hair loss, abdominal pain, and neurological damage. Some women noticed their skin getting worse, so naturally they applied more. Cover the damage with the thing causing the damage. A perfect loop. And by the late 1800s, reports of lead poisoning were growing, but habits die hard, especially when your mirror says you look amazing right before you drop dead. And if poison on the outside wasn't enough, Victorians were still very willing to suffer from the inside out. Number 4. Bloodletting for clear skin. Drain first, glow later. So, you wake up with acne. Oh, tragic. So what's the solution? Obviously, remove some blood. Now, bloodletting, a practice dating back centuries, was still hanging on in the early Victorian period as a cure for everything from pimples to a bad complexion. The idea was simple. Your blood was the problem. So they drained it, using lancets or even leeches. Practitioners would literally siphon it out. Side effects included dizziness, infections, and occasionally dying. But hey, at least your skin looked pale and delicate, mostly because your body was too busy panicking to produce anything else. And if you were hoping hygiene would be the least disturbing part of Victorian beauty, oh, I have terrible news. Number 5. Ammonia and urine face washes. So, you think your skincare smells bad? Victorian women looked at that and said, haha, not nearly bad enough. Ammonia was a popular ingredient in facial cleansers, and if you didn't have that, no problem. Urine contains ammonia too. Oh yes, urine. It was used for skin cleansing because of its supposed brightening effects. The science? Ammonia can strip oils. It also irritates the skin and makes the whole experience deeply revolting. You're leaning in for a polite conversation while your face basically smells like a public toilet. Clean skin? Maybe. Social life? Absolutely demolished. And clearly, poison still wasn't a deal-breaker either. Number 6. Mercury skin treatments. So, if arsenic wasn't enough, Victorians also flirted with mercury. Mercury-based creams were used to treat acne, freckles, and discoloration. And they worked, temporarily. Mercury suppresses melanin, giving that smooth, pale finish everyone wanted, but it also accumulates in the body. Now, long-term use led to tremors, memory loss, kidney damage, and severe psychological issues, and some users developed what doctors later recognized as mercury poisoning. But back then, that was just part of the routine. I mean, imagine applying your night cream knowing it might slowly erase your personality. Beauty isn't pain anymore, it's a full system shutdown. And that was just the face. Victorian beauty also wanted your waist, your lungs, and probably your internal organs. Number 7. Tight corsets for the perfect figure. Organs, optional. Now, Victorian beauty wasn't just about the face. The waist had to be impossibly small. Enter the corset. So by the mid-19th century, tight lacing became extreme, with some women reducing their waist to under 18 inches, roughly the circumference of a large dinner plate. Ribs were compressed, organs were displaced, breathing became more of a suggestion than a function. Fainting wasn't uncommon, which is why fainting couches became a thing. Doctors warned about internal damage, but fashion said, it's worth it. I mean, imagine voluntarily squeezing yourself into a human hourglass until your lungs file a formal complaint. But hey, at least the silhouette is stunning. And it does not get safer after this, unfortunately, because apparently swallowing parasites also felt like a good idea. Number 8. Tapeworm dieting. So in the late 19th century, rumours spread that ingesting tapeworm cysts could help with weight loss. The idea? Let the parasites eat part of your food so you stay thin. Now, there's limited evidence of widespread use, but documented cases and advertisements suggest people were at least tempted. And once inside you, the tapeworm grows. And grows. Feeding, expanding, occasionally causing abdominal pain, malnutrition, and intestinal blockages. And in rare cases, it could reach several meters long. So yeah, you might lose weight, but now you're not eating alone anymore. Every meal is a shared experience, whether you like it or not. And after all of that, they still weren't done redesigning the human face by force. Number 9. Eyebrow removal and forehead stretching. So, in the Victorian era, high foreheads were considered a sign of beauty and intelligence, and some women plucked or shaved their eyebrows and even their hairlines to make their foreheads appear larger. No filters, no subtlety, just manual editing of your own face. Repeated plucking could permanently damage hair follicles, meaning your brows might never come back. I mean, imagine committing so hard to a trend that your face forgets how to grow hair properly. Congratulations, you optimized your forehead and deleted your eyebrows in the process. Number 10. Electric face treatments. Shock your way to beauty. So by the late 1800s, electricity became the new obsession. Early electrotherapy devices were marketed as miracle tools for youthful skin and wrinkle reduction. Salons and at-home kits used mild electrical currents on the face, promising improved circulation and tighter skin. The reality? These devices were poorly regulated and often inconsistent at best, and some delivered harmless tingles, others caused burns or nerve irritation. But it felt modern, scientific, futuristic. You're sitting there while someone casually electrocutes your face and calls it skincare. Nothing says beauty like a controlled zap and a strong belief in questionable technology. And if electricity sounds aggressive, well, acid was somehow an acceptable next step. Number 11. Nitric acid freckle removal. Erase the spot and maybe the skin. Freckles? No, unacceptable. Solution? Acid. So, nitric acid was used to remove freckles and blemishes by chemically burning the top layers of skin. Applied carefully, or not so carefully, it would peel away the mark, and sometimes everything around it as well. Misuse could lead to severe burns, scarring, and permanent discoloration. But for a moment, at least the freckle was gone. I mean, imagine looking in the mirror and deciding the best solution is controlled chemical damage. It's not skincare anymore, it's a negotiation with your own face, and the acid is definitely winning. But subtle enhancement was never enough. Number 12. Hairy moles as beauty marks. Oh yes, with hair. Real moles, even hairy ones, were sometimes embraced as marks of charm or distinction, and in some cases, women even emphasized them rather than hiding them. No lasers, no removal, just confidence and a noticeable tuft. What we'd rush to remove today, Victorians sometimes treated like a feature. You're leaning into a trend so hard that you decide, oh, you know what this look needs? More mole, more hair. Bold, unquestionably bold. And after all of this, even basic dental care was ready to join the assault. Number 13. Charcoal and burnt bread tooth cleaner. So, before modern toothpaste, Victorians turned to abrasive powders like charcoal and burnt bread to clean their teeth. It did remove stains, absolutely, and it also stripped enamel. So repeated use could make teeth appear whiter at first, but over time it led to sensitivity and damage, and some mixtures even included chalk or crushed shells for extra cleaning powder. You're brushing your teeth with something that feels like sandpaper and calling it hygiene. So sure, your smile might look brighter right up until your teeth decide they've had enough and start breaking down under pressure. And apparently, sleep itself needed optimization too. Number 14. Chin straps and face reshaping devices. So Victorian inventors loved gadgets, and beauty devices were no exception. Chin straps and facial contraptions promised to reshape the jawline and prevent sagging while you slept. Straps were wrapped tightly around the head, applying constant pressure in hopes of sculpting the face. There was no real science behind it, of course, just discomfort and wishful thinking. At best, nothing happened. At worst, headaches and skin irritation joined your nightly routine. So, now you're going to bed looking like you've strapped into a medical invention, all for a jawline that refuses to cooperate. And finally, let's drink to your health. Literally. Number 15. Vinegar drinking for weight loss. So vinegar became a popular weight loss aid, especially under the influence of figures like Lord Byron, who promoted it in the early 1800s. And women began drinking diluted vinegar to suppress appetite and stay thin. And it worked. Well, kind of. It also caused nausea, weakened digestion, and could damage the teeth and throat over time. And some users developed chronic health issues from prolonged use. You're forcing yourself to drink something your body clearly hates just to fit a beauty standard. And at that point, you're not dieting anymore. You're slowly pickling yourself from the inside out. And that was Victorian beauty, where looking good came with a side of poison, parasites, and questionable life choices. And if you think this was disturbing, you ain't seen nothing yet. Subscribe and watch the next video. You genuinely won't believe what people did next.